welcome in for some volleyball on a special Tuesday night. East Knox continues their season early on in the year. The Bulldogs come into town up against the Mount Gilead Lady Indians, a team looking to turn the tide in their KMAC campaign here tonight. We'll take a break, come back live and free with your pregame coverage here tonight from the reservation, live and free on the OH Report.
Looking for the best high school sports coverage in Ohio? You found it right here on the OH Report. From the field to the court, we've got it all. OH Report brings you local coverage like nobody else in the area, live and free. Follow OH Report now and never miss a moment of the action. Don't just watch, be a part of the game with OH Report, the future of local sports.
At the Killbuck Savings Bank, you can expect great products and service from a fellow Knox County Chamber member. Now offering premier card processing solutions and services, ensuring the business owners understand their credit card processing fees. We have a wide selection of card processing solutions that provide lower fees, faster payment, additional security, exceptional marketing features, and help to improve your business operations and customer experience.
At Knox Community Hospital, your primary care physician is more than someone who delivers your test results, more than someone who writes prescriptions, more than someone who listens to your heart. We are your healthcare partner who takes the time to know you, listen to your concerns, and provide you with expert personalized care to make and keep you well. Because to us, you're more than just numbers on a chart. You're a neighbor and a friend. Knox Community Hospital, in the community, for the community.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Time now for your OH Report pregame show, brought to you by Avita Home Health and Hospice. Jonathan Langdon alongside Xander DeVault as we bring you live from Mount Gilead High School. Lady Indians get themselves started on the OH Report for the 25-26 season. We'll be back with them this Friday for some high school football, but for now, we are at the volleyball court and they take on the East Knox Lady Bulldogs, and I'm joined by Xander DeVault today. Jonathan Langdon with you. East Knox, the team we got to see last week play against the top team in the KMAC, the top threats in Centerburg. They played them tough there in that contest.
Yeah, Centerburg's got a great squad, and obviously we played over at the Dog Pound in Howard, so they were coming into enemy territory. Able to get the sweep over East Knox, but it got a little dicey there at the end. The first two sets were 25-10, 25-5, so no sweat there. on Centerburg's brow. But then in that third set, East Knox really showed up, and they pushed Centerburg's limits a little bit, and they were able to make it a fight, and Centerburg ended up winning 25-23, which personally is one of the biggest flips I've ever seen from set to set, 25-5 to 25-23.
Yeah.
Kind of incredible. So, definitely. The Bulldogs have some fight in them, and it can be interesting tonight.
Yeah, so their first two opponents in Northside Christian and Centerburg, who we just talked about, right now sit a combined 7-1. So you got to look at the quality of what East Knox is going up against. Despite those sweeps, got to feel good coming into this game where you take on a Mount Gilead squad that you beat twice a season ago. Yeah,
this is going to be a good chance for East Knox to get the first win on their belt, the first notch. But they're coming into, like you said, they're in enemy territory. We're up here at Mount Gilead, and the Indians are looking to get their first win in conference over the past 2 seasons. So they're definitely out for blood. They think that they can do it this year. And so you're going to have a fiery squad coming at you from the other side.
And then a player spotlight today for the Lady Bulldogs. We talked about Mosteka, the lone senior for the squad in that Centerburg game, but let's put some spotlight on the sophomore wearing number 16 in purple today, Kenley Moore, middle hitter, 16 kills, 4 blocks, 2 service aces. She's been kind of all over the place for this young East Knox squad. Yeah,
Kenley Moore, definitely a player to watch tonight. For the Bulldogs, and when we talk about their offense, you can't not talk about Kenley Moore. Kenley Moore has 2.7 kills per set. That's a whole kill higher than anyone behind her, so she's definitely the #1 player on this offense, and she's going to have to perform tonight if they want to get their first KMAC win, which is definitely something that they would like to do.
62 kills as a freshman. She leads the team early on in this season here in 2025. Let's go over to Mount Gilead on their side and talk about what this squad is kind of inheriting. An 0-14 run in the KMAC. Of course, never good to have a 0 in the win column anywhere, let alone in the conference schedule. But there were some positives. They definitely have some growth. Their freshman last year was a libero, or their libero last year was a freshman. Now she'll be remaining with that off-color shirt as a sophomore now. And they took a set from East Knox in both of those games. So, of course, it wasn't completely ugly, and here they are now trying to turn the tide. Yeah, with some players coming back and those players now having more experience on the court, more experience as players at the high school level here in the KMAC, it's only going to prove more beneficial for Mount Gilead tonight and for the rest of the season. So they definitely have a good chance to get that first KMAC win here in a while. And I know that the Indians here in the reservation will be happy to see that if they are able to do it tonight here against East Knox. Yeah, they already got a win under their belt as well. They sit 1-2 on the year. They beat Gilead Christian just across the road. And their player spotlight today that helped them do that is Abby Leonard, and she kind of went crazy in that game against Gilead Christian, especially from the service line. She is likely going to have a dangerous serve here against East Knox as well. 11 aces, 12 kills. Yeah, Abby Leonard, she leads the team in kills. She leads the team in service aces, like you said, aces per set, kills per set. Something that we really need to watch is Abby Leonard from the service line, because as we saw in the East Knox Centerburg game, East Knox can get into some serve-receive woes. We saw some strong serving from Centerburg's side, and it was able to put East Knox really just out of the game. So if Abby Leonard can come out for this Mount Gilead squad and put some pressure on them from the service line, then it could be a good night here in Mount Gilead. Yeah, Abby Leonard, you see her on your screen wearing number 28. One of 3 seniors here on this squad, as it looks like we're about set for the national anthem, which means we're going to take it to a break and come back live and free on the OH Report with lineups and the start of this one. First serve coming your way soon on the OH Report.
Looking for the best high school sports coverage in Ohio? You found it right here on the OH Report. From the field to the court, we've got it all. OH Report brings you local coverage like nobody else in the area, live and free. Follow OH Report now and never miss a moment of the action. Don't just watch, be a part of the game with OH Report, the future of local sports.
At the Killbuck Savings Bank, you can expect great products and service from a fellow Knox County Chamber member. Now offering premier card processing solutions and services, ensuring the business owners understand their credit card processing fees. We have a wide selection of card processing solutions that provide lower fees, faster payment, additional security, exceptional marketing features, and help to improve your business operations and customer experience.
At Knox Community Hospital, your primary care physician is more than someone who delivers your test results, more than someone who writes prescriptions, more than someone who listens to your heart. We are your healthcare partner who takes the time to know you, listen to your concerns, and provide you with expert personalized care to make and keep you well. Because to us, you're more than just numbers on a chart. You're a neighbor and a friend. Knox Community Hospital, in the community, for the community.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
And welcome back. East Knox Lady Bulldogs on your screen. They just had their roster announced here tonight. We'll move over to the other side of the court and introduce you to Mount Gilead here momentarily. But before we do, got to finish up that pregame show brought to you by Avita Home Health and Hospice. And let's go ahead and start by talking about East Knox and what they need to do to come out with a win today. Kenley Moore, the player spotlight, plays in the middle. So, of course, you're going to want to win that middle.
Yeah, you're going to have to get the middles involved early. You're going to have to prove that Kenley Moore, can be one of the best players in this game in the gym tonight. And getting the middle involved early will also open up the outsides and the right sides to be able to get into the game as well. And then your offense is firing on all cylinders. And so that right there is kind of what every volleyball team wants to do to make your offense successful.
And now this isn't Centerburg, but what I noticed about East Knox last week is they weren't able to get too many crazy runs. They kind of chipped away, and that's not really a way that you can win against Centerburg, but it's definitely a way that you can stay tight and end up escaping here with a W against the Mount Gilead team. Yeah,
this is going to be an interesting game because as we saw, especially in that first set, even though the score between East Knox and Centerburg was 25-10, East Knox was very, very scrappy, and they got a lot of balls up. They were able to dig a lot of balls, and tonight it's going to matter about digging those balls and then turn around and getting points off of them, and that's going to be what they have to do.
And then because of that defense, Mount Gilead's got to find some gaps, maybe be a little bit more smarter about where they place the volleyball today rather than just going for simple power.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to just go up there and swing. You're going to have to place it because, as we saw against Centerburg obviously probably the most offensively high-powered team that we have in the KMAC, and they were they were just getting dug left and right in the first set by this East Knox squad. So they definitely have the ability to dig power. So if you're able to be more smart, put it in spots where they're not as fast as they are, just able to sit back and take that hard hit. So it's definitely going to be a matter of, who can find the spots, who can go on those runs, and especially East Knox is going to have to serve receive very well if they want to win this game.
And it's just about time for us to start proceedings here tonight. That final key for Mount Gilead, just in-system operation. Last year, they weren't really able to get much at all in system just because they were scrambling to kind of get around and all of that. But they've got some youth now coming in, and they're going to want to have an opportunity to just kind of put some nice things together, even if they don't score the points. Just want to try to keep it in system. We are underway today from the reservation. Shot over the block. This will go to the back rail. Lefty swing. And Mount Gilead can't find it in the corner. East Knox strikes first.
Yeah, as you saw right there, Ava Fawcett sitting right down that near line there, as you see on the replay there. And she's able to dig that ball up and turn it into a point. Ava Fawcett getting the dig and the kill.
Set from Kenley Trainer. That goes off the block. East Knox keeps it going. Up the middle, they'll go with Moore. That one just dug up by the Mount Gilead defense. Roll shot. There's Leonard, her first touch of action. And she can't get to that one. That hits off the tape and rolls on down. It's 2-0 East Knox.
You're seeing some of the scrappiness early for the Bulldogs. They've not let anything touch the floor yet. Obviously, 2-0 their lead. And Kinley Moore getting involved early on her first swing, but couldn't get a kill.
Addiston Mosteka. And miscommunication in the middle. Nobody went to get the second contact, and the Bulldogs now up 3-0.
I will say that's two balls there taken on that back line that probably would have gone out of bounds, which is going to hurt the Indians and Mount Gilead a lot in this game if they're not able to stay composed.
Trainer with the set. That hits right off of the chest of Winkler, and that's the first kill of the game for Mount Gilead and their first point as well. We'll see McKinley Bump, the lone freshman in the back row. This is our player spotlight, Leonard, who will serve it. There's Bump, the freshman in the back who had the dig. And now we'll see Kenley up the middle. Now Gilead keeps it going. Far swing. Way too much out there, and East Knox up 4-1.
Ayers can be sneaky there on the outside, number 17 for Mount Gilead. She goes up. I mean, honestly, it's a great swing. It's not something that you see a lot of times at this level. Just a high hand swing, looking to clip, a finger or something go out of bounds. She didn't get it that time, but who's to say she won't the next time?
Winkler the serve for East Knox. Up the middle goes Mount Gilead, and Mosteka was ready for it. Far side swing. Nice dig by the sophomore Whipple, but it looks like a double contact as Mount Gilead attempted to get it back to East Knox.
Yeah, they've cut out the double contact a little bit in the women's game. They've made it less likely they're going to call it, but once it gets so bad, they'll still call it every once in a while.
Mount Gilead gets a free point. That one sails way out of bounds. Substitution being made for the Lady Indians. Kylie Rigdon will join the front row. And Kenley Trainer is taking over some setting duties early in this game. She'll now go back to serve. Goes right to Mosteka. Tough set at the net. Just able to keep it over. Good job again there by Kenley Moore. And then a nice dig in the back by the libero, Evie Williams. Looks like some contact on the net, and that'll go against East Knox. Make it 5-3. Bulldogs still hold the lead.
Seen a lot of great stuff on the side of Mount Gilead, who we talked about was held winless in the KMAC a year ago. There's a lot of good players that are making quality plays on that side of the net.
How about that high serve from Trainer that ends up sailing inbounds? Dig from Bump in the back row, which I've got to say is a fantastic name for someone in the back row. The last name Bump. Kenley Moore's blocked. Joust at the net coming. No, it's just going to be a dump down. Mount Gilead strikes there on a point from Cassidy Irwin.
Great swing there from Irwin on the overpass. I'll say as a volleyball player, we don't claim that word bump. We don't it's pass.
I learned that extensively from my freshman year roommate, as here's another point for East Knox. I want to go back to that pretty much free ball as Irwin got the nice block and then is gifted just a simple tap down.
Little 10-foot line there.
But nonetheless, the next point goes to the Bulldogs, so 6-4 East Knox. Kenley Moore. Irwin nearly got another kill. Good job by Mosteka, though. Tough one at the net. Just not enough height, and Mount Gilead will score.
Yeah, some of these sets we're seeing on East Knox side have been tight here over the last couple plays. A couple plays ago, Mosteka was able to keep the ball in, but that one just going to be too tight. Your hitters aren't going to be able to do anything with that.
Here's Kylie Whipple. She was thrusted into action last year as a freshman Played pretty much every single game as the libero, not even just playing games, but having such a big role in those games, as this will hit the net. And the Bulldogs defense gets in the way of that one, 7-5.
Yeah, Imogen Winkler, the junior setter, needs to get these balls off the net for her hitters, or it's going to be a long night, because when the ball is so tight like that, you go up and you really don't have any choice but to get blocked or go really high over, and that's going to be an easy pickup for the Indians.
High side spin serve. It went right to left on that spin, and then now a ball sails out of bounds. And the Bulldogs have their biggest lead today, 8-5.
Yeah, McKinley Bump sails that one out. But shout out to her, a lone freshman, putting in the work on the court. Already got a lot of touches so far.
Free ball coming from Mount Gilead. We'll see if East Knox can cash in. They'll go far side. Mosteka sails that out of bounds.
Yeah, it's a good look for Mount Gilead. You're going to have to take advantage of these errors that East Knox is making.
New server Lindsay Ayers. Did not make that easy for East Knox. Lefty swing from the Bulldogs. Controlled well, and Leonard free balls it. They're going to go right back. Just a simple tap over the net. Bump was ready, and she'll free another. Will they go to Fawcett again? No, they'll go Mosteka this time. Tough one at the net. Trainer can't get there. Nice back and forth contest so far. Bulldogs still with that 9-6 advantage, but you kind of see some really good volleys that we haven't seen from Mount Gilead in previous years.
Yeah, it's going back and forth right now during the play. It's basically who can outlast each other. Right now, East Knox coming out on top, but Mount Gilead looking good here in the first couple points.
Leonard can't tap that with the left. First to 10, the Lady Bulldogs, and we'll see a timeout. Timeout called by the head coach, Lindsay Wyeth, for this Mount Gilead volleyball squad. And as we take this timeout, want to shout out our sponsors for the first time tonight. Thanks to Avita Home Health and Hospice, providing high-quality community health care and improving the quality of health in families throughout their lifespan. And then thanks also to a staple here in Mount Gilead, the Endzone Bar And Grill. They have one simple message for you. You always score in the end zone. Been there multiple times. Fantastic food. Look forward to being back there again later on this year. Carothers Pest Control as well. Thanks to them. You can sign up for year-round protection from all creepy crawlies, starting at just $39 per month. Thanks also to Knox Community Hospital, the Killbuck Savings Bank, and Scout Construction, LLC. Tough reception off the platform of Ayers. It's an ace right out of the timeout.
You know the Bulldogs love to see that, as we saw the Bulldogs fall victim to that a lot against Centerburg, so to turn around and get an ace of their own, got to be nice to see, especially going up 5 points on the scoreboard.
Another high serve that probably was going out, but Ayers still played it. Leonard nearly finds a crease, and a call in the net. Looks like it's going to be in favor of Mount Gilead. See if we can get the tail end of that, potentially just a touch there from that block reaching forward.
That was a great swing there, but that was honestly an even better dig from Evie Williams in the back row, the libero for East Knox. I mean, they lost the point because of the net call, but she dove and got that up with one hand.
Going back to Mosteka, low set, and it works. Right up the middle there. Here's that last point brought to you by Carothers Pest Control. Bulldogs have, again, their biggest lead, now 5. And hey, what do we say? It's starting to chip away here in set number 1. Bullet serve received by Whipple. Set up the middle, going to Leonard, tries to tap it inside the 10-foot line. And they'll call a violation on Leonard.
Yeah, Abby Leonard just ticked the net there barely. That's 3 points lost for both teams combined on net calls so far, so they got to stay clean up there.
Served by Evie Williams. Free ball coming out from Abby Leonard, and it somehow scores a point. There's some miscommunication there in the back row. You don't see that often from a team like the Lady Bulldogs. It looks like Williams and Savannah Crawford, the junior, got in each other's way. Kenley Moore sneaks that one up the middle.
It's the key player right there, making a key play. And a good shot over the block, just right into the middle. That middle back's playing a little too deep. She's able to score off of it.
Addison will serve again for East Knox. Ayers receives, tapped over by the setter. Back to Moore. This one blocked. Irwin will get it. 14-9.
Irwin being a big player so far for the Indians of Mount Gilead in this game. She's got a couple kills, that overpass, and then a nice block there.
She's been a solid star for this Mount Gilead volleyball team throughout her time in the program. Also for the basketball team that always seems to somehow make a deep postseason run when it comes to late winter, early spring. This ball sail out of bounds. Gilead finds himself up to 10. Abby Leonard, the senior. She'll serve another one. Back row swing, that'll sail just out of bounds. Indians are now within 3.
That was a great swing there from Foss. I know it was out of bounds, but nice back row attack.
Pretty much the same thing from Leonard. It nearly won her an ace. Trainer sends another one over. This will sail out of bounds. And the Indians are within 2. East Knox still has both of their timeouts here in this set.
Good dump there from Trainer, able to score off of it. She didn't really have a choice, but a smart spot nonetheless.
That one just sails out. Good communication in the back row. I think it was Mosteka that was the one that initially yelled out, and the Bulldogs get out of that little run we saw from the Lady Indians. Tough one at the net, but it is going to be Mount Gilead's point. That's been a struggle so far for both of these sides, just staying away from the tape.
Yeah, it's just something you can't do if you want to be able to go on these long runs. Got to stay clean at the net because, I mean, you never know when it's going to come back and hurt you.
Back set Moore just did not hit that cleanly. It's now a 1-point game.
We talked about East Knox chipping away. It's almost like Mount Gilead's been chipping away ever since East Knox got up with that lead. Now only a 1-point deficit for the Indians.
Nice topspin serve. Far side set, sails out of bounds. We're tied. And now we'll see a timeout. You had a feeling that head coach Eiler was probably going to wait until this game got tied up to use that first timeout. Well, it has here at 15 and pretty much over the halfway mark in this set. Looks pretty darn even.
It does look very even. Early, we saw East Knox kind of get out to a little bit of a lead. I think their biggest lead was 5 there, right in the middle. But now we've seen Mount Gilead really just chip away at that lead as you see Coach Eiler coaching up her team there. It'll be interesting to see now who turns on the gas. It's a 0-0 game, right? It's a game to 10. So you're going to have to come out. You don't have time to, lay back, let East Knox get back up, or let Mount Gilead get up. You got to go right now, game to 10, and we're going to see who rises to the challenge.
Kenley Trainer, the junior, will get us going again. Another solid serve. And just able to improv there to get it over the net, but Irwin was ready. Cassidy Irwin, the MVP of this first set so far.
Yeah, Irwin coming up big time for the Indians here in this first set. She's made plays on defense, on offense. And she's definitely a big reason why they have been able to come all the way back and tie this game up.
Trainer continues to work this time, sails it way up in the sky. Moore, nice placement that time, right between the rows. Knotted at 16 as they rotate, and Kenley will serve now. Paisley Lilly, I believe, getting her first action in the front row, wearing number 4 for East Knox. There's an ace for Moore. There it is again, brought to you by Carothers Pest Control. The freshman in the back just could not handle it. And that time the sophomore sails that one to her right on the serve reception.
Yeah, that one just a missed touch there. Didn't mean to do that. Something that could, prove costly headed into the end stretch of this game as East Knox is back up by 2.
Another rougher reception, forces a free ball. Back set lefty off the block. Probably the best looking swing today from East Knox, and that one went to Ava Fawcett.
Ava Fawcett's been solid so far for this Bulldogs team. From a volleyball player point of view, her mechanics on her swings look to be one of the best in the gym, honestly.
And I'll tell you what, Kenley Moore is terrorizing this Mount Gilead team. That's pretty much 4 straight serves where they had some rough receptions, 3 of which resulted in aces.
Yeah, definitely something that this Mount Gilead squad is going to have to clean up. They're already back down by 4. We were just at 15-15 at the last time out, and now it's 16-20, so a 5-1 run so far for the Bulldogs. Mount Gilead, if they want to go up early, take a set, and get a fast track on winning their first KMAC game in quite some time, they're going to need to do some work here.
So Mount Gilead, it would be the first set they've lost today. Of course, there was a JV game prior, and Lady Indians getting the job done, getting the win in that game in straight sets. Coming into tonight, both of those teams, JV and varsity, as here's another ace from Kenley Moore to make it a 5-point game here in set number 1. Both of those teams are 1-2. Were 1-2, 0-1 in the KMAC, so Mount Gilead and their varsity squad pressured to try and match that record again as JV got the win earlier today. 21-16, Irwin will free ball on a rougher set from Trainer. Fawcett will get another go, but it's blocked. Ayers able to tap it down.
Yeah, good spot from Fawcett, but Ayers able to hang up there, hang around as you see right there, and just hang up long enough so she could block that ball back down.
Another free, this time by bump. Winkler sets up the middle, lefty swing. Lilly couldn't get it over the net. That's 4 hits. So 21-18, Mount Gilead on the serve. They trail by 3 here in set number 1.
Bulldogs got to go on the gas now. They're giving the Indians life.
That one just hits the tape. But a good job by East Knox. And a back row swing from the libero. Ayers will respond right back to her. And Winkler sends a free. Close to the net, Ayers off the tape. And they'll say she went over the line. So East Knox makes it 22-18 on that error.
Yeah, Ayers going to be under on that call. A lot of play going on at the net. A lot of points are coming off the net for the other team usually. And that's definitely something that needs to be focused on probably in the set break here that we got coming up. Bulldogs looking to push to the end here and get the first set win.
That one was not hit too cleanly, but it does dance with the line enough to force Mount Gilead to play, just like that one there. Fawcett taps it out of bounds. 22-19, Indians back on the serve, this time with Ayers.
The clock's ticking. We're getting down to the end of this set, and the Indians want it bad.
How about that serve? Ayers right off the tape. Why not? 22-20.
Yeah, like I said, the Indians want it bad. It's a 2-point deficit now. A little luck on their side as well with that one.
This one sails well over the net. Fawcett right there. She lands it in, stays out of the net. Oh, no, they'll say she was in it. Just still not able to have anything too clean up over the top.
Wow. Yeah, they're going to say Fawcett was under on that point, too. Even though she didn't make anybody fall down, they're going to say her foot crossed the line. And in high school, if your foot crosses the line and there's blockers there, then it's going to cost you a point.
But they're fortunate enough to get it right back on a service error. Here's Ava Fawcett. Leonard, the power touch. And the Bulldogs got it over, but they're going to say she used her chest to get it up.
Yeah, they're going to say she lifted it. I don't know.
We missed it on the tail end of the replay, but
yeah, I don't know if I agree with the call. There was nothing too sticky about it that stood out to me, but the ref saw what he saw, and it's going to give the Indians a good chance here.
Mistake-a, nice swing, but a better dig by Whipple. Near side swing. Leonard has that one dug up. Trainer going back to Leonard. Look at the finesse. Dances with the line. We're tied.
A great
and
spot
a timeout
there
as well.
Yeah, great spot there by the senior, Abby Leonard, the kill leader for the Indians, and ties it up. We're at 23s.
That was set up by her previous swing earlier in the volley where she went to that back corner and then there just simply tapped it away from the block, was able to get it right, pretty much right on that line. And a timeout by East Knox. It's their last of this set. I believe Mount Gilead has one more.
I got a feeling we're in for a tight matchup tonight with some back and forth play. It's not very often that you see a team let the other squad get up by 4 or 5 points twice in the same set and come back and win. So the Indians have a chance to do something big here.
Going back to Mistake-a. That's another good swing, and that's in. According to that back judge, this is inbounds. You'll get to see it again.
Yeah, that one was close. A good swing, though, on the outside from Mistake-a, giving the Bulldogs the upper hand, the first set point.
Evie Williams, powerful serve. That was tough to receive, but Mount Gilead did just that. Winkler sets up the middle, looking for more. Oliver with the set. Still up at the net. Couple of taps, and Moore wins it. Here's the whole sequence again. It was chaos at the net, but height won right there. Kenley Moore gives the set to the East Knox Lady Bulldogs on the road.
Yeah, not quite the final score that we thought we were going to see early in that game, and then when they let him go on that run the second time. But the Indians able to come back and really make this a very good game, tied it at 23. But the Bulldogs able to just edge them out, 25-23, the first set, going to East Knox.
Coming up next is set number 2. Stick around on the OH Report. We'll be back live and free.
At Knox Community Hospital, your primary care physician is more than someone who delivers your test results, more than someone who writes prescriptions, more than someone who listens to your heart. We are your healthcare partner who takes the time to know you, listen to your concerns, and provide you with expert personalized care to make and keep you well. Because to us, you're more than just numbers on a chart. You're a neighbor and a friend. Knox Community Hospital, in the community, for the community.
Shout out to the Lady Bulldogs getting the first set win. Kenley Moore, our player spotlight for that squad, was the one to finish it with just a couple of solid fights, solid jousts at the net, using her height to her advantage. Tallest player on the East Knox roster. And wearing 16 in purple tonight. You see her on your screen. We head to set number 2. It was a tight first one, 25-23. But the Bulldogs, it seemed like they were in control, I would say probably about 90% of that set, even though Mount Gilead did make it close in the end.
Yeah, the Bulldogs really did control almost that entire set. But great fight, though, from the Indians. Now, you got two options, right? You got a game where you come back, edge it out 23-23, and then lose. So you can either, crumble, get swept, or you can come back, fight, and try to win, try to go to – now it's going to have to be 4, maybe 5. So the Indians got a big character move that they're looking at right now, dead in the face. We're going to see how they rise or fall here in the second set.
Now, how often do you see a team fall in this situation as a player?
It really depends on the leadership, right, the player leadership. Are you guys prepared for that? Are you aware that you might come out and lose? And they do have a win on their record. They also have 2 losses. So it's something that they've seen the both sides of it. And it's going to come down to how much the players want to win. And we saw in that set that they were fighting. They were able to come back. So you see both teams. And since I don't know the players personally, I can't tell you exactly how they're going to react. But, it's going to unfold. We're going to see it on the scoreboard. So we got a interesting set and a telltelling set coming up here in the reservation.
So if you're just joining us, East Knox won first set number 1, 25-23. Set number 2 just about set to go. And the Indians wearing black today at home will start the serve. Elsewhere, want to check in. A lot of volleyball games going on tonight. Crestview taking on Monroeville. Lady Eagles for Monroeville up a set to nothing. They're also up 8-1 in the second set as well, so they look like they're cruising to victory. Here at the reservation, nice set from Trainer. This will sail out of bounds. And the Bulldogs will strike first. Mosteka will run and get the ball, and she'll serve for East Knox.
That one just out of bounds. Real close. A great spot, though. That back corner is going to be open about 90% of the time. So she went to the right place, just not able to be accurate enough.
This one in the net. That'll tie it up at 1 early here. Also want to shout out Western Reserve. Xander, you probably don't know what that is, being from Tennessee. But Western Reserve up closer towards Norwalk and Sandusky, right by Lake Erie. Joining us in our coverage here for the very first time this season, our very first ever home game at Western Reserve. And it looks like Lady Rough Riders just starting there. They trail 2-3 against South Central. Also some soccer tonight. Get a couple of jokes from some friends and some fans on the OH report that we should be called the Clear Fork report. Because Clear Fork is playing tonight against Ontario. They lead 1-0 in that boys soccer contest. Kenley Moore, how about that swing? And it's 3-1 after that.
Big swing there from Kenley Moore. Kenley Moore so far doing it from the front row, from the service line. And she is definitely the impact player that we thought her to be going into this one. As her Bulldogs do lead by 2 early in the second.
Trainer tried to go for the corner, and it's going to end up working. As out of system with the Lady Bulldogs, it's 3-2. Want to shout out some comments on the OH report. Watching with us on Facebook, Charlie Moore. Wonder if there's probably a relation to Kenley, who has been balling out here in the first set. And the start of the second one as well. Shout out to you cheering on the Dogs. Sandy Gardner cheering on the Lady Bulldogs as this sails out of bounds. And Mount Gilead will win another point and tie things up at 3. And then also a go Elena in the chat. Elena Nastasi, the junior for East Knox. This one will end up in the net. Mount Gilead takes their first lead of set number 2.
Yeah, again, coming back, making it tight, taking the lead here for Mount Gilead. It seems early as if they're not going to crumble.
Far side set. Simple tap over from Fawcett. She'll now go to the other side to try and block. And she helps out the cause, wins the point.
It's really unfortunate that that Ayers swing's not hitting their mark right now because she's having some good ones, swinging high, swinging for the hands. They're just not quite getting close enough, not touching.
Kenley Moore will serve. Top spin serve right to Ayers. Behind the 10-foot line. Two-hand shove. Forces a free ball out of East Knox. Ayers standing swing. That nearly hits the basketball hoop up on the ceilings here today, and then that goes out of bounds. And Mount Gilead on another solid run as Ayers will go back to the service line.
Cameron Harris now in as well for Mount Gilead on that right side over there.
Whipple out of system. Another free ball. And this one will work. Cameron Harris right on cue.
Absolutely. Nice kill there. I mean, free ball kill, goes on the stat sheet as a kill, so you'll take that 10 times out of 10.
How often do you see free ball kills at the college level?
Not very often, but it has happened before. It's most of the time when you think the ball's out and it lands in.
Nice cross-court swing there from Leonard. Really put it the only place she could have, and it went in bounds right on that line, far side.
Yeah, great shot there from Leonard. It's always disheartening when you're calling out on a free ball and then it ends up curving back in and hitting the line.
Ace for Mount Gilead, and all of a sudden, they have doubled the Bulldogs' points here in set number 2.
Yeah, Mount Gilead fighting hard. We talked about would they crumble, would they rise, and they're rising right now, up 4 here in the second. They want to tie this up.
Senior at the service line. This one taps on the tape. East Knox has to get it over. They do. Trainer set to the middle. Nothing crazy from bump. Fawcett will try one. Dug up by Ayers. Trainer near side set. Leonard finds a spot in the corner.
Yeah, great spot there from Leonard. You see as she swings it down the line, just goes up and over Winkler's head. And you had Williams that was just too far away, barely to get to it.
Another bullet and a double contact. Just forced a quick reaction out of the primary setter, Imogen Winkler, and it turned into just an illegal contact. Mount Gilead is the first to 10 here in set number 2 as there's a nice dig from Whipple, some help as well. And they tried to combine together to use the power of friendship to get it over, but it did not work that time.
Yeah, talking about the play before that, they've really tried to phase the double contact out of the women's game at all levels, at college, at high school. But when the ball goes over, that's when you have the call. You can't send it over and double contact it, but if it stays on your side, then you're good.
Leonard sneaks that one in as well. Got to give credit, though, to Williams, who almost kept that alive. But the score moves up again for Mount Gilead. It's 11-5. And all of a sudden, things just feel brighter here in the gym tonight.
I think the lights got brighter.
Yeah.
I think they did.
Things are up not just here in the gym, but for this Mount Gilead volleyball squad who just nearly gets an ace. Ayers with the dig for the Mount Gilead. Osteka tries to tap it. Leonard was ready. They're going to Fawcett. The lefty dug up, tapped up, still moving, and now it'll finally head out of bounds. And Mount Gilead wins the point. We'll show you this again. Oh, or maybe not. But Mount Gilead in that whole sequence is going to end up with the ball at the end.
Yeah, another net call there on the Bulldogs.
Williams receives the serve. Leonard will try one, dug up by Williams. Winkler to Mistake. Wicked spin on that swing, held up nicely by Mount Gilead. Fawcett will try one. Sails it over the block. And that is on the line, inbounds. You're going to see the swing again. Mount Gilead let it go. It was Oliver that thought it was going to sail just out of bounds, but It just did tap that line.
Very, very close on that one.
And Whipple mishandles the serve. There's another ace for East Knox. It feels like a lot of their points have been on just some missed touches in the back row by Mount Gilead.
Yeah, it's kind of a reverse of what we saw in the dog pound just a week ago. And we saw Centerburg kind of tearing up East Knox serve receive. Now East Knox on the other side of it, kind of causing a lot of problems for Mount Gilead.
Free ball from Leonard. See what the Bulldogs can do. Mosteka will rise up and sail it just out of bounds. Indians in command, 13-7.
Yeah, a lot of problems might have been an overstatement. They are up right now by 6 points. They're doing a great job. They lost that set the last set by 2, so they're in a good spot here.
Bump, just kind of lost it on the hands right in front of her. Was between passing and just a simple tap up.
Yeah, sometimes it gets stuck right in that no man's land where it's kind of hard to do either, and she wasn't able to put any power behind her hands.
Nice set backwards. I don't think that touched a Bulldog, and that's what the officials will agree with. Make it 13-9. So the Bulldogs score there by way of the 4 contacts on Mount Gilead's side. Winkler puts it on a platter for Mosteka. Ayers digs it up and it falls right back to her off of the ceiling here, the high ceiling here at Mount Gilead High School.
Yeah, good dig there by Ayers, but ceiling's a little too low. Maybe if you were an aerial, might have stayed in.
Yeah, Aerial Arena over at Mount Vernon Nazarene University. You weren't with me last week when I was at Clear Fork, though, as here's a point for East Knox, but Clear Fork, much lower, much lower. If you go back and watch, I feel like it felt like every other play was being affected by how low the ceilings are.
Yeah.
At the Colt Corral.
Yeah, we played not this past season, but 2 seasons ago at North Greenville in South Carolina, and the ceilings were about to where the bleachers stop up there.
Wow.
It was the worst gym that I've ever played in.
This one will touch the ground before Whipple tries to kick flick it up. So you went all the way to South Carolina to play in that gym, huh?
Yeah. Well, we took the trip to Atlanta and played Life and Reinhardt. Then we hopped on over to South Carolina and played North Greenville. North Greenville, a NCAA D1, D2 men's volleyball program. So it was cool to get to play them, see that one. Point going to go to East Knox there. But yeah, it was cool to get to play them in their own gym, beat them in 4. Cough, cough. But it was a good time.
Xander, of course, a member of the MVNU men's volleyball team here just about 30 minutes away from Mount Gilead. And as we've talked about your college experience, we've seen East Knox tie it up at 14.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they probably wants to keep doing that. It's probably good luck for East Knox to keep talking about my college experience. Some fight, though, now from the Bulldogs. Indians take a lead, but they give it up.
Ayers nearly made something out of nothing right there. Good up by Whipple. Ayers tries again. And that Bulldog defense starting to settle in here tonight. However, Fawcett can't get that over the net.
Yeah, good hand dig there from Fawcett on that ball. And she wanted the swing too. She wanted the whole play, but not able to capitalize.
Kenley Trainer. They'll go back to the middle. Kenley Moore off a couple blockers. And in the net goes Mount Gilead too. All knotted at 15, just like we were in the first set.
We were. Now this is where the Bulldogs of East Knox were able to pull away, go on a 5-1 run, and hit 21st. So we'll see what happens this time.
Trainer with the set. Swing, not able to get over Winkler, but that hits off of the basket on the ceiling, and that'll be 4 hits. And Mount Gilead now, it's tied 1-1 when it comes to help from the ceiling.
Yeah, just unfortunate there. Good dig. They probably were going to get it back over, but yeah, that pesky basketball goal had to get in the way.
Double contact on the send-over. There's that rule you've been talking about.
Yeah, it's hard because different refs call it different ways. Some refs call it on the spin. Some call it on the visual 2 contacts. So you never really know what you're getting. It varies from ref to ref.
That one, it seems like they just called it simply on the sound. It just sounded a little funny coming off of
there was no real spin on the ball there, as we've seen in some of the other ones. Yeah, the sound you can tell as well.
Ayers off the block that goes. No problem for the Bulldogs, however. Reset from the Indians. Simple free ball up the middle. Moore looking for a touch. Did she get it? No.
Man, good swing by Moore. Really close to a touch, but the Indians back on top by 3, seemingly off of just some miscues.
Fawcett uses her left arm nicely. Gets them just a little bit closer. Carothers Pest Control brings you another replay here tonight. Just good cross-court swing. Took a couple deflections. Near side. That one nearly lands, and they're going to call it. Well, that backside official did call it in, but he is overruled by the top judge. That's out of bounds.
Yeah, the down ref going to overrule that one. It looked out to me. You saw some dismay from the East Knox bench.
Good serve by East Knox, forces an overpass. However, we'll see a free ball from the Lady Bulldogs. Trainer sets towards the net. Ayers puts it down right on the line. A beautiful looking swing from Mount Gilead that time. That might be swing of the night.
Yeah, great swing there from Ayers. That's what she's been going for this whole time. But she's had a big block over there on her with Kenley Moore. Now Kenley's over on the bench, and she had her chance, and she took it.
That one tapped down rather than up. And the first to 20, the Mount Gilead Lady Indians. Timeout, East Knox.
Right now, just some miscues going on out of East Knox. The Bulldogs, they really are kind of giving a lot of points to Mount Gilead. Mount Gilead's not really having to earn them. Now, with that said, they are earning some. A great swing there, like we saw by Lindsay Ayers out here on the outside. And it's really just a matter of, can East Knox clean up their game enough here with time fading and get some points back and get back in this game. We saw about this same score. We saw a 20-16 score, but it was flipped the other way. So now can the Bulldogs come back, maybe tie it at 23 like we saw last set?
Let's go back to that swing from Ayers. On your Carothers replay, that just danced on that back line. Beautifully placed. Good momentum shifter. Forcing East Knox into another timeout. And after losing in set 1, they hold all of the cards here in set number 2. Close one to the net. No real joust that time. But Leonard puts a little bit off of that one and finds the middle.
A good spot there, right in the donut, as we call it, the campfire, going right over the block into that open space like we talked about before the game.
Sitter dump nearly works for the Bulldogs, and Whipple just clears it. Fawcett near side, takes a touch.
Nice roll shot there. It was going to be close, so had to take it. Oh, there's Cameron Harris. It just went off her hands and out of bounds. Good swing from Fawcett.
Yeah, it made it really tough on Cameron Harris for Mount Gilead to make a call on if it was going to be out or in. So she just had to do what she felt led to. And that time, a miscommunication. Bulldogs starting to sneak their way back in.
And mistakes like that early in the game, you still don't want to see them, but especially here late as we are about 5 points away from crowning a winner of this set. You just can't let that happen.
Trainer had some ground to make up, so this will be an out-of-system free ball. Mosteka dug up by Ayers. And Whipple's got to do something with it. Goes overhand. Mosteka tries again. Roll shot. Leonard was ready. Right at the net. Tapped over. And Whipple puts it up. They'll live to see. I thought we were going to live to see another volley, but Ayers sends that right into the net. I like that move, though, from Whipple just to send it up as high as possible and try to keep it alive. Just bad overhand. Bulldogs could tie it here. They're going to go back to Leonard. Off the block, and they can't keep it up. Mount Gilead 22, East Knox 20.
Good swing there from Leonard. They're going to go to their big kill leader here late in the game. On that last little rally there, they didn't have good enough passes to be able to get it out to her. Right there, she's able to pick up that. It brings the setter real nice and close to her. Pops it up there, and Leonard able to deliver as she has all season.
Here's Katie Oliver. Going back to Fawcett. East Knox will get the kill with her.
Ava Fawcett been a big-time player on that right side. She's got a great swing, and she's using it.
And after that kill, she's going to come back to serve. Potential chance to tie it. Free ball, East Knox. They'll go to Mosteka. Dug up by Whipple, nicely done. Back to Leonard near side. What a dig by Fawcett. And this ball will just sneak over the net. Up the middle, bump, sails it out of bounds. And here we are again, tied at 22, just like set one.
We got a big game here coming down to the end. Indians, the level of play for Mount Gilead has really dropped here in these last few points. That's not what you want to see.
Fawcett looking to keep it going. Ayers puts it right at the net. Wasn't too dangerous that time, and now another mistake. Gives East Knox the lead. We've got a timeout from Mount Gilead, and the rowdy bunch here from East Knox making the trip. Loving every bit of it.
Yeah, Mount Gilead, there towards the end, really just not getting as good of passes, not having an in-system offense. They're having to free ball it over a lot, which the Bulldogs are really taking advantage of as we've seen this point flip. It was 21-17, and now it is 22-23 in favor of the Bulldogs. So they've really fought here towards the end and come back and been able to capitalize off of the miscues, the many miscues that we've seen here in the latter stretch from the Indians.
Yeah, a couple of the miscues you're seeing right now on our little replay roll during this timeout. This Mount Gilead kind of letting East Knox back into this game as here we go out of the timeout. Trainer just able to tap it over the net, and there's a miscommunication by East Knox, and we're tied.
What did I say earlier? Maybe we'll be tied at 23-23 here in the second set as well, and right now we are at 23-23 on the scoreboard.
It just looked like Fawcett thought it was going to go out of bounds and just far too late made a different decision. The freshman bump keeps it inbounds on the serve. Irwin back in the game to man the middle for the Indians. They'll go far side, Mosteka. Bump, Trainer, Leonard into the campfire, but the Bulldogs survive again. Middle, Irwin into the net. 15 seconds here on this replay. Let's relive that last volley.
I mean, wow. That up on the other side from Mosteka really just saved the set for the Bulldogs. I mean, everything was looking Indians. You had Leonard on the outside swinging, dive, one-handed up, and keeps your team in the play, and they're able to outlast and win the point.
And those kind of plays are what you love to see, especially when you see the score like it is on the board, on your Endzone Bar and Grill scoreboard. It's going to get real dicey here after Mount Gilead spends their final timeout, in which they've used both of them here past the 20-point mark.
Yeah.
It's just a very late surge from the Bulldogs, and they sit with set point.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens here. Either Bulldogs take the win, or we'll go into extra points if the Indians can get this one.
Serve incoming from Evie Williams, and that goes to the net. That's the last thing you wanted if you're East Knox, is to simply just give back a deuce.
Yeah, right there with the miscues that the Indians have been having, you really want to get that one in and kind of let them make their own mistake.
Here's Abby Leonard. Off the chest of Fawcett, they'll go to Kenley Moore. Missed contact, but it ends up working. Can't tell if that was an intentional sort
I think
of
she
deal.
mishit it.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Ayers tried to get there, just couldn't quite. 25-24, we're in extra points here.
Question is, how far in extra points will we go?
Addison Mosteka keeps this one inbounds. Bump close to the net, tapped down by Trainer, and a violation on East Knox. We keep going.
That's what we've been talking about. I mean, they've had a lot of play up at the net, and there's been a lot of points lost there. And I talked about earlier, you never know when it's going to bite you. Right now, in crunch time, is when it's going to hurt you. You got to stay clean.
Kenley Trainer with a solid serve to the middle. Moore sees a couple deflections. The Bulldogs just will not go away. They've got set point again.
Yeah, we're still in extra points here. We'll see if East Knox can put this one away and look to go for their first sweep in the KMAC this year.
However, they give it right back. That's a couple errors now late in the set, where the Bulldogs haven't even given themselves a chance.
Yeah, you really we talked about the whole reason they were able to come back is because of the miscues from Mount Gilead, and now you're serving it out of bounds. You're not even giving them a chance to make a miscue, which is what you got to, which is what has got you to this point. As we see right there, East Knox takes their third set point opportunity. But yeah, I mean, they're not allowing them to do what has gotten them back in the game. They're just serving out of bounds. So we'll see what Kenley Moore can do with this one.
She had a solid run of serves in the first set. She got 3 aces in 4 tries.
Something also interesting is with Kenley Moore serving, there's no libero in the back row for East Knox. So that should be something that the Indians can take advantage of.
Ayers fields this one cleanly. They'll go to the middle. Free ball in the second contact. Trainer to Ayers. 2-hand shove to the other side. Joust at the net, and it looks like East Knox was in the net. And we continue to go back and forth here in the reservation.
Yeah, these teams really just a little undisciplined when it comes to blocking and swinging up at the net.
Trainer back to Leonard, and she gets this one down. This time it's advantage Lady Indians. Good set by Trainer. Perfect execution, and it looks like now we've got a timeout again.
Man, it's been interesting. East Knox had 3 opportunities to finish this set, 3 opportunities to win, and they've not been able to capitalize on them, as Mount Gilead really played poorly going into the last few points of what would have been, regulation, and now they've kind of turned it up. I don't know if it's interesting that it took them that long to kind of light the fire. They got into extra points, got down. Now they're back to playing, so we'll see if they can finish it off here.
Getting a look at the crowd tonight here from Mount Gilead High School. East Knox traveled well. Mount Gilead, of course, the home cooking, feeling awesome right now. And they've also got the advantage, 28-27, in a really, really competitive set. Can Ayers finish it off? Tough reception from East Knox, and Mosteka takes it to the net. And in dramatic fashion, Mount Gilead ties us up at a set apiece, 29-27.
Yeah, great finish there from Mount Gilead. It was scary there for a little bit. They came out and they did fight. We saw them up and in control for a large portion of the set. It was kind of the opposite of the first set, and then they allowed East Knox to get back in it. But in the end, Indians were able to play well enough to pull out the win, and I know they're happy about that.
And before we take it to break, shout out to some more watchers on Facebook: Ian Eiler, Linda Wright, Elizabeth A.O. Pazderick. Shout out to all of you watching live and free. Leave a comment. Set number 3 is up next, live and free on the OH Report.
At the Killbuck Savings Bank, you can expect great products and service from a fellow Knox County Chamber member. Now offering premier card processing solutions and services, ensuring the business owners understand their credit card processing fees. We have a wide selection of card processing solutions that provide lower fees, faster payment, additional security, exceptional marketing features, and help to improve your business operations and customer experience.
It's a great day on the OH Report. Jonathan Langdon, Xander DeVault. Your camera operator today is Brandon Powell. Thank you so much for joining us here from Mount Gilead High School. We've got an even match headed into set number 3. Lady Bulldogs took the first one, 25-23, and then we had a barn burner in the second set. Lady Indians won it 29-27. It was just a case where East Knox had a couple of chances to win it. I believe they had 4 set points in that second set. Couldn't get any of them.
Yeah, they had a lot of chances, but really Mount Gilead kind of took away their chances. Mount Gilead was able to allow East Knox, I want to say allow, because their play dropped there in the end of that second set, and it allowed East Knox to get back in the game to even have a chance to have any of those set points. But once they got into extras, Mount Gilead turned it back up, and they started playing just like they were before, and so they were able to outlast East Knox. Very impressive defending 4 set points.
Addison Mosteka will start things off. The lone senior for East Knox serves it over. Training with a bump set. Tried to go back to Leonard, but it did not have enough juice to get over to her, and Ayers not able to recover on it. Bulldogs score first.
Yeah, bump not a setter, so she was trying to do her best, just couldn't get it all the way out there.
And a touch by Oliver at the last moment. Turns that into a Lady Bulldog point again. Looked like that one was going out of bounds, but Oliver wasn't too sure. Easy to say from up here, but right next to her.
Yeah, always best to touch it if you don't know. She was just a little bit too far from it, couldn't get a good touch on it. But she gave it her all.
Well, Xander, I'll tell you what. I kept tabs last year. Last year was my first year ever doing volleyball, and I believe it was the first 8 games that I called all sweeps.
Really?
And here we are, game 2. Game 2, we've already got ourselves an extended match. Irwin up the middle, off the block. She'll get a kill. Not a name we said too often in that second set, but here she is again.
Yeah. Had a great first set. Started off big for the Indians. Second set was a little bit quieter, even though they had a better game overall as a team. Now she's back at it.
Moore will go at Irwin and score a point. Bulldogs take the lead again. Nice set from Winkler. Seems like she's really got it tuned in with her middle hitters. And after that set, she'll serve. Whipple gets it right to her setter. Irwin up the middle, dug up by Winkler. Nearly able to be kept alive by Fawcett, but I think the officials, what do you call that? Just kind of a ladder or platform?
Yeah. No, she
got in the way.
Yeah, she turned around at the last second and tried to get there. Didn't quite know where she was, almost ran into it, but it would have been a great play. She would have had it if it wasn't there, for sure.
Top spin serve from Trainer. Bulldogs, a miss clean, not too clean a hit from Moore, ends up working again. And we see that a lot in volleyball where maybe something doesn't go off just the way you thought it would, but that's what throws off the defense at the same time.
Yeah, the defense is either sitting back and prepared for a big hit, or they're on their toes getting ready for a tip. And sometimes if you just mess up and don't do what you think you're going to do, if you don't know what you're doing, how are they going to know what you're doing? That's what one of my teammates jumped top spin serves, and he good serve there from Kinley Moore. Got the ace. One of my friends, he top spin serves, and we're like, do you ever aim your serve? And he goes, well, no. If I don't know where I'm going, the other team's not going to know where I'm going.
Yeah, exactly.
So, the great Noah Weinberg says that.
He picked up volleyball pretty late, too.
He did. Yeah, he didn't play till he was a freshman in college.
I think the story goes, we'll talk about it after this point, but Trainer setting to Ayers. I think that may have been touched, and it was.
That's what she's been going for all game right there. She finally gets her touch point.
But Noah, I remember, was playing pickup basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was in that run, of course, not used to seeing guys my height play at our school in our pickup games, but he pulls up, and then I see Coach Shear in the corner just eyeing him up.
Plotting. Yeah.
That's the men's volleyball coach for MVNU, and he just said, hey, we need some height on our team. Come on over. We'll give you a try, and didn't do too bad.
Yeah, Noah, he came to play JV basketball, and then, Coach kind of snaked him. But he's a good volleyball player. He's 6'7", touches 11'8", so.
Ayers near side, two-hand shove over towards Mosteka. Another set to East Knox. High roll shot. Back over, and that will hit the tape. Just couldn't get it back to the Mount Gilead side. Now it's always easy, as the Indians tied up at 6. It's always easy for people who are taller to get into volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
And I am a taller individual, but I am not on that level.
Yeah, volleyball, as Mosteka hits it in the net there. Volleyball, if you're tall and you can jump somewhat,
I'm in the somewhat category.
You will be good, because volleyball a lot of the times is really just a game of athleticism.
Fawcett not able to get it over. Indians lead 8-6.
Although I will say a good quote from my dad, shout out my dad, he always says any monkey can hit a ball. So it comes down to the things like passing, serving, setting, all the technical skills that make a team good. But if you're tall and can jump, you definitely can get up there and play front row.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't pick up volleyball until college.
Yeah, you played some intramural volleyball.
I did play some intramural volleyball. I also learned from the best in Daniel Skripchak, my freshman year roommate.
Yeah.
He was the longtime libero for that MVNU men's volleyball squad when they first started up.
Yeah. Yeah, he left the year I got there, so we never crossed over, but I knew Daniel well. He taught me everything I know about social media and stuff like that. It's just the MVNU men's volleyball hour, isn't it?
Yeah. It's called set 3 of a match that you know is going 4.
Yeah. Possibly 5 here, depending on what happens. We're seeing some good play from both sides this set. Mount Gilead with the lead.
Here's another serve. Leonard will swing at this. Dug up by Williams. Mosteka tries, sails this out of bounds. And the Indians up 4. Looked pretty much identical to this in set 2.
Yeah, it did. We saw Mount Gilead kind of get up a little bit on the scoreboard. As you see, another point going on as an ace from Lindsay Ayers. We saw him get up on the scoreboard, but eventually, we saw the Bulldogs fight back in it, come all the way back, and go to extra points. So we're going to see if Mount Gilead can hold their lead this time and maybe go into the 4th set up 2-1.
Lindsay Ayers waiting on, it looks like someone in the back row for East Knox. Fixing up a brace. It's Savannah Crawford. They'll go away from her, and that's going to get touched by Fawcett before she could do anything about it, and that's another ace. How about this serve here, Xander? That just sneaks inbounds. I think it took a tap off the tape, too.
Yeah, it was definitely, I'm going to say she meant to do that. It was calculated, meant to hit the tape, meant to hit the line. It's a great serve there from Ayers.
Trainer the set, heading back to Leonard, just able to keep it on the right side of the antenna. And a rough roll shot attempt from Fawcett, and it's 14-7, timeout East Knox. Saw the same exact score in the last one. Talk about a football score heading into this timeout.
Yeah.
The Indians lead by a touchdown. Speaking of, we're going to have our first Mount Gilead football game this Friday. They'll take on Upper Sandusky. They had a nice win over Triad last week on the road, but of course every Mount Gilead game on the football side will be on live and free on the OH Report. They lost to Upper Sandusky last year. Upper Sandusky coming into the game on Friday, they were shut out by Northmore, so they're going to be hungry to score, period. But also, obviously, to get a win. Indians, I always like to make the case they were the best 4-6 team in the state just because of the competition they went up against. They went up against 2 teams that ended up making it to the Final Four in their respective divisions. And then just everybody else played them tough. It just felt like everybody else brought their A game, and like everyone brings their A game every week, but their A++ game against Mount Gilead.
Yeah, that's always unfortunate when that happens, when you're the one on the receiving end of it.
Back out of the timeout, Leonard tries to finesse again. That time East Knox was ready. Whipple the dig. Leonard keeps it alive, and here's a free ball. Williams runs up on it. Mosteka. Power touch over. Joust at the net. Bunch of Indians towards center court, and it looks like East Knox will win that point.
Some good play from both liberos right there. Whipple running all the way back from the back line into the front row and getting that ball. And then, man, can Evie Williams hit a ball out of the back row as a libero?
Whipple, lower set. Leonard makes do. Mosteka again for East Knox. Dug up in the back again by Whipple. Starting to come into her own here in this game in the back row. Mosteka. That one left by Whipple. So 15-8 now. I just can't help but notice the progression of Mount Gilead's defense in this game.
Yeah, they've gotten a whole lot better. I mean, we saw in that first game, a Bulldogs team that really we talked about was ahead for like 90% of it. And then obviously Mount Gilead able to come back and make it a game there at the end. But their defense has just gotten better and better. We saw a lot of first ball kills earlier from the Bulldogs, but Mount Gilead really coming into their own, settling in here in the reservation in this KMAC game and making it look really good in their favor.
Mosteka on a low set, free balls it over. Ayers does the same. Winkler to the middle, Moore, and Whipple there again. Leonard will try. Mosteka, another attempt, roll shot right to Leonard. Abby has to backtrack on it. And it's just back and forth between the two best swingers for both teams right now. This time they'll go to Fawcett near side. Best volley of the night cooking right now. Up the middle. Bump is blocked. Free from Mount Gilead. Winkler sets back to Moore, and that one just too high. And a long point goes to Mount Gilead.
I mean, wow, what a rally for both sides. Ended by a set that was just a little off target, went right over Kinley Moore's head. And it just was unfortunate for the Bulldogs. But right now, the Indians holding a 7-point lead.
Leonard squares up on this. It hits off the tape. No Bulldog touch, so it's 4 hits. East Knox finally gets to 10 here in set number 3.
We'll see what they can do now. Still down 6 mid-set here. Last time, Bulldogs able to come back, make it a game at the end. But the score wasn't quite this large earlier, so it'll be interesting.
Irwin uses the tape well, but an even better dig by Fawcett. Oliver with a nice acrobatic play. Bump keeps it alive. Trainer set. Leonard to her knees. Fawcett digs it up. She'll get the 3rd contact as well. And this one spiked to the ground. Leonard, hands on her head immediately, knew she missed it. Deficit now 5 for East Knox as they try to crawl their way back. Irwin misses low.
2 errors here by the 2 most prolific hitters for Mount Gilead. Looking good for the Bulldogs right now as they're coming back slowly but surely. We talked about chipping away before the game as they did against Centerburg in the game that we called a week ago. Now they're chipping away at this lead.
Irwin, high tap. Back to the middle with Moore. And Ayers digs that one up to the student section. 16-13. See a lot of Mount Gilead football players in attendance tonight.
Gearing up for Friday, big time game.
Oliver the free ball. Flirted with that line, and a rough reception by Fawcett earns another point for the Lady Indians. Now it looks like Abby Leonard will be back up to the serve spot. Speaking of social media, you talked about it. Abby runs her little photography business.
There you go.
Photogs, those Mount Gilead football games that we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Might have to reach out to her, see if we can use some of her stuff for the OH recap post we put out at the end of every night that you can see on Facebook and also on Instagram too.
Yeah, for sure.
Kenley Moore up the middle. She's had some of the better looks for East Knox today, and that's been all thanks to Winkler, who's been right on it as the setter tonight.
Yeah, great swing there from Kinley Moore. Impact player before the game. I will say I was shocked to turn on the OH Report Instagram and see Braden Bingham's 80-yard touchdown run not be one of the top 10 plays of the week.
It's a very competitive list this year.
Yeah.
As this sails out of bounds and Mount Gilead scores the point, because you got to think we are covering, I think the number for last week was 12.
Yeah.
12 games in the area. I believe only 8 make the list. So Braden Bingham, his 80-yard touchdown for Northridge that we got to call against East Knox, not able to make the list. And I think there's a couple of other reasons for that, as this is another one that will go to Mount Gilead. Northridge, not a team that we usually cover. So when it comes to voting, the odds that Northridge is going to come out with the win,
that's fair.
Not very high.
That is fair.
So I think that may have gone into the decision-making too. Free ball from Winkler. Trainer set to the middle. Irwin. Forced Mosteka to play it. Joust at the net. Tap down. Lady Indians get to 20.
Good swing there from Cassidy. Irwin been a big-time player in the middle of the day for the Indians. And
Timeout Bulldogs.
Some good plays so far. 6-point lead. Mount Gilead holds. Not something that we would have quite expected after the first set. They got a good chance to go up 2-1 here and get their first win this year in the KMAC. It would be big for this program.
I want to look through and find who did make that list. Bingham was on for the
He was on for the player of the
Phenomenee.
week. Or yeah. And he had 18 carries for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. So it was a big-time game for Bingham over there in the dog pound. And they were able to come out with the win.
Yes.
By 1 point, which is rough considering they beat him by 1 point last year as well. So
Yeah, East Knox, I think the special teams need a little bit of work going into next week. Weren't able to convert any.
maybe need to go get a goalie or somebody from the soccer team.
Well, they don't have a soccer team. That's the issue.
They don't have a soccer
They don't have
team?
a soccer team.
Wow. I did not know that.
Smaller school, it's hard to try to get guys to do multiple sports, especially within season. East Knox scores another point. It's 20-15.
Wow, that's crazy. I had no idea they didn't have a soccer team.
There are a lot of schools here in
Really?
Ohio that don't have soccer teams.
Wow, that is so weird.
I believe,
I guess I'm just used to everywhere having everything where I'm from.
if I'm recalling right, the only team in the KMAC that has any soccer team is Loudonville.
Wow.
Ace for East Knox. Kenley Moore continuing to cook at the service line.
That is incredible. I mean, I think I'm a little fogged because I came from a school with 2,500 kids.
Yeah.
So in volleyball, we have freshman, JV, and varsity. We have 3 games.
And I felt the exact same way coming from Ashland,
Yeah.
which is a bigger school in this area.
Yeah.
We had pretty much a team for every sport, but now you get down to like the East Knox, the Danvilles, the Mount Gileads, of course, the teams you're seeing tonight. What a dig there by Whipple. But a double contact that goes over the net, so easy call for the officials that time.
Well, that's interesting. I've learned something tonight. You've taught me something. I just figured everybody had a soccer team. Everybody was,
Nope.
Yeah.
Ayers receives this serve. And that one way out. Bump offensively just hasn't been able to get anything to stay away from going up.
Yeah, this has been exactly what we saw last set. I'm pretty sure we saw the exact same score. We saw 21-16, and then Mount Gilead started making some mistakes and allowed East Knox to kind of get back in it. And as we're seeing now,
Yeah, the parallels are eerie. And Crawford stuck in between. Lady Indians 22, East Knox 18. Now, what are some other sports that you would assume that a school like Mount Gilead or East Knox would have?
Soccer, basketball, women's and men's, baseball, softball, football. Those are like the staples. I feel like anything past that you don't really have to have. Like my school, we had lacrosse.
Absolutely not.
And we had swimming, and we had men's volleyball. My school had men's volleyball. I'm trying to think. I think that's it. Is there another one that I'm missing that is like crazy that they don't have, or?
I honestly couldn't tell you if Mount Gilead has a softball team. If they do, we've never covered them.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything about the Mount Gilead softball program, but I'm sure there is, and I'm just unaware. As East Knox on yet another run, just like we saw in that second set, it's 22-21 in favor of the Indians for now. But the big thing is lacrosse. None of these schools have lacrosse.
Yeah.
I don't think Ashland, my alma mater, even has lacrosse. It's more of a southern thing, I would say.
Yeah.
And New England.
Yeah.
Off the block here, there's a kill from Kylie Rigdon.
I will say probably the weirdest sport that my school has is we have an underwater basket weaving team.
Okay.
I'm
I
just
like
joking.
that.
We do not have an underwater basket weaving team. We do have an underwater robotics team, though, which is pretty cool.
I had a feeling that
I was like,
that had to be sus. And we got an ace from Mount Gilead there in set point.
I was like, I can't keep up that joke for long. We do have an underwater robotics team, though, which is pretty cool.
Timeout, East Knox. At least I thought they called a timeout, and they do. I thought they were out of timeouts.
Yeah. I thought
No timeouts. They don't have any timeouts, so.
Good thing we're not playing basketball. If you call a timeout in
forget
basketball, then it's technical. You get some free throws.
Timeout in basketball, you'll probably get 10 minutes to sit down. How long those timeouts are now. Set point here for Mount Gilead, trying to take a 2-1 lead in that category, but Mosteka says not for now. 24-22. It's up to Evie Williams to keep it alive. Whipple, decent reception, but that's going to go down as an ace.
Good hustle there from Lindsay Ayers, trying to hustle to it and bring it back in for her squad. But now, I mean, we're seeing them come back. This is what we've seen almost every set so far.
Can we see some extra points yet again? What a bullet of a serve, free-balled on one go, but it won't get over in Mount Gilead. Keeps it in regulation, and they have a 2-1 lead here at home, and you can see they're loving it over there on the bench as we take yet another break. Set number 4 on the way. Lady Indians looking for their first KMAC win of the year in quite some time, in fact. We'll come back with some numbers and some statistics on that when we come back on the OH Report.
At Knox Community Hospital, your primary care physician is more than someone who delivers your test results, more than someone who writes prescriptions, more than someone who listens to your heart. We are your healthcare partner who takes the time to know you, listen to your concerns, and provide you with expert personalized care to make and keep you well. Because to us, you're more than just numbers on a chart. You're a neighbor and a friend. Knox Community Hospital, in the community, for the community.
East Knox in their huddle as we head back to Mount Gilead High School. Thank you so much for joining us live and free on the OH Report. I'm Jonathan Langdon. Xander DeVault to my right. Brandon Powell on camera up in front of us, bringing you this action live and free on the OH Report on a special night for us. 3 volleyball games on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
This time last year, Xander, it would be just me, myself, and I making
go.
my way out to a volleyball court somewhere to cover some Tuesday night volleyball, but now we've got options for you watching at home.
Yeah, we love volleyball. I love volleyball. Volleyball is one of my favorite sports to watch, to call. It's very entertaining. Underrated, I would say. One of the more underrated sports that we have. Maybe also with underwater basket weaving also being another underrated sport.
I'm not going to live that down thinking that was an actual sport.
I will say track and cross country, I think, are also pretty standard. Golf maybe.
Abby Leonard will get the serving started for Mount Gilead once she gets the nod. But we are in set number 4, and the Lady Indians hold the advantage, winning the last 2 sets after giving up the first to East Knox. Leonard gets us started. History potentially in the making tonight for Mount Gilead and their volleyball program in the league. The set from East Knox tapped over. Trainer will go back to Ayers. Two-handed shove over to Misteka. They'll go back to her with the third swing. Ayers can't keep it up. And the Bulldogs, I believe, for the 4th set in a row, have scored the first point. I think they've scored first in every single set.
Well, that is it's definitely good for their squad. I know they're happy to be up 2 sets to 1. Or sorry, to be down 1 set to 2. I mixed up my teams there, as that's going to give them a 2-0 lead, trying to fight back into this one.
Here's the scores by set coming into this 4th. 2-0 here, 25-23, 27-29 in favor of Mount Gilead. And then 25-23. Indians still looking for their first point here. Trainer, another high set to Ayers. That's off the block. You said it before, that's what she's going for. And she's gotten it the last few times.
Yeah, some great swings from Ayers. Swinging high hands is always going to be good when the block is bigger than you are. And she's been converting right now, like you see on the scores that you just saw of the other sets. Very tight matchup.
Absolutely. Winkler. Double contact on the set, but it's not going to get called. Xander talked about that rule, as here is the rule in play.
Yeah.
Double contact is allowed as long as it does not go over to the other team.
Or if it's just absolutely atrocious. Sometimes they'll call it.
That's also a great exception to bring up as well.
Yeah.
Because we may see something like that.
Yeah, because here in a minute they'll call it. That point's going to go to Mount Gilead. So here in a minute they'll call it and they'll say, Jonathan and Xander don't know what they're talking about. But yeah, if it's bad, and of course from ref to ref, we talked about earlier, everything differs. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Trainer gets underneath this ball, gives to Ayers, who finds a spot in the back corner. All knotted at 3. That last point before this one was a little bit controversial. They gave it to Mount Gilead, but with that point gifted to them, they're able to tie it up at 3 here. Winkler sets to Fawcett far side. She'll now move to the near side and help block. Off the antenna that goes.
Yeah, Mount Gilead's found a lot of success over in this near corner where you see Morris walking right now. They've got a lot of kills there. It could be something that their coach needs to tell their front row to kind of aim for. As you see another ace right there by our impact player, Kinley Moore. But yeah, it could be that back corner right there. Could be a point of emphasis as they gear up here in the 4th and try to finish this off in 4.
Looks like they need to fix something with the far side antenna.
Got to make sure it's straight up.
Yep. After that, Kinley Moore will continue. Keeps this one inbounds. Whipple with the reception. Back set. Given to Fawcett. That'll go over towards coach. Wyeth keeps it. Taps it over to her team on the court.
Moore's out now for East Knox, so something that Mount Gilead can take advantage of here as they've got Abby Leonard in the front row.
See a back row swing from Williams. Sails short. All knotted at 5.
We've seen a lot of great swings from Williams. She's one of the better liberos that I've had the privilege of watching.
Winkler forces some miscommunication from Mount Gilead. And that'll make it 6-5 Bulldogs. I've been waiting. I'm looking over at the AD for Mount Gilead, Jack Balt, good friend of mine, just trying to get a text response out of him. But according to Max Preps, if Mount Gilead survives and wins this game, it would be their first KMAC win since 2021.
Wow. Some big history possibly making tonight. That's almost 5
Now,
years.
I do believe that Max Preps is wrong, and it is a little bit more recent than that. But waiting on confirmation from Mr. Bolt across the gym. Up the middle here. Looks like just an early jump from Bump, and that'll cause it to move to 7-5 East Knox. We've seen Bump, just a freshman to remind you, just fall a little victim to offensively going a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, Bump hasn't had a whole bunch of success tonight. She started off the game pretty good, getting a lot of good touches. But, I mean, freshman, she's a player that this Indian squad is going to have for a long time. So definitely a lot of room for development.
Leonard will try one, sails it up. 7-5 East Knox. Mosteka misses short. Still a tight contest here in set 4. Kate Oliver will check in. Katie Oliver, that is.
Yeah, definitely a tight contest. I mean, we've seen 2 points separate these teams in 3 straight sets. Now just a 1-point game so far in the 4th. So these teams definitely evenly matched.
Good dig by Ayers on the swing by Mosteka. Free ball from Leonard. Finds the campfire.
As you can see on the replay there, that play coming into, or that rule, you see her set kind of double contact, but all good because staying on their side and a good way to put it down. We've seen a couple free ball kills tonight.
This one looks to be clean. Bump keeps it in bounds on that swing. Leonard gives back to Trainer, gets it back. That'll go off of East Knox, and it'll stay alive. That's what a volley here. Back to Bump. Roll shot, that'll work. And Bump's got her first kill of the night.
Yeah, great swing from Bump. Right on cue, we were talking about her. Able to go up the front row, get a nice kill. Not able to be returned by the Bulldogs as Mount Gilead now has the lead in the possible deciding set.
This ball tapped over, nicely done. Little dipsy-do to tie it back up at 8 from Imogen Winkler. Far side set. Mount Gilead will try one now, and that hits off the antenna. East Knox 9, Lady Indians 8.
Freshman middle Reagan Beatty also now in the game for East Knox. Is that Coach Beatty's daughter, you think? Yeah, probably.
Good swing there from Mosteka. Bulldogs first to 10. Last time they did that, they took set number 1.
They're going to need to take this one here if they don't want to go home with another KMAC loss tonight. Big stakes on the line here in the 4th.
This one will get sent over, but it was in a tough spot. Free ball coming from East Knox. Whipple right to the setter. Leonard will swing in on it. Solid dig by Crawford. Leonard a free ball, but not free enough. Bulldogs take the 11-8 advantage.
It's kind of shaping up like the first set. You talked about the Bulldogs getting a 10 first, now kind of pulling away here early. But Mount Gilead was able to come back in that first set and make it a game. So we will see here as the Bulldogs take a 4-point lead.
Timeout Mount Gilead. Bulldogs starting to run away with it here in set number 4 to try and force a decisive 5th set. I have gotten confirmation from AD Jack Bolt. 2021 over East Knox, in fact.
So it was
the last
2021.
KMAC win
Wow.
for the Lady Indians.
It's been a long time coming, so we'll see if they can finish it off here in the fourth. They got a good chance, up 2-1, but East Knox got the upper hand in this one early. But we did see that in the first set. Obviously, East Knox ended up winning, but it did come down to 23-23 in the end. So we'll see how much fight Mount Gilead's got left in them.
Now, Mount Gilead, the volleyball program, they've definitely seen better days, but it just feels like some of the players they've added on the younger side are going to really help them propel forward in the coming years, including Whipple, who just received that serve right there, wearing the off-color jersey. Mount Gilead wins a coach's point right there, but it's always a good sign for a program when the freshmen and the sophomores that you're bringing in are defensive-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, you got to find somebody to give you some offense, but there's time for that.
Yeah, defense is a big deal in all facets, especially in this league where a lot of teams, have an offensive player or maybe two like Centerburg, but defense is always going to be important in any level, in any league, in any conference. So defensive-minded players is always something that a coach loves to see come in the gym.
Kenley Moore simply taps that to the back row. Katie Oliver thought we were playing soccer.
It would have been cool if it could have got it up, but that's just not going to cut it right there.
She would get away with it if Mount Gilead had a soccer team. Back to that conversation we had in set 3. There's an ace for the Lady Bulldogs. I would argue this is their biggest lead of the night, 15-9. Bullet from Williams, taken in well. Nearly a kill from Irwin, but Crawford says no. Lady Indians on the attack again. Cross swing dug up by Mostica. They'll go right back to her. Set near side. Leonard forces a high dig. The official gets in the way, but we're still going, and East Knox has a point. A lot of outlying factors played into that point. Bulldogs didn't care. They still got it.
Yeah. Williams is back there, had to contort herself around the line judge, get it back in, and then just a great spot. Had to put it over and end a long rally. East Knox just compounding on that lead.
Moore tries again. Dug up by Bump. And over the net goes Moore. As Travis Berardi, my good friend, likes to say, those are called yummy balls, but you can't have a yummy ball with a hand in the net.
You can't do that. You can, but it just won't count.
Winkler with the attempted setter dump. Bump to Ayers. Winkler this time will set to Mostica. Looking for placement. Indians were ready. Irwin up the middle, off the block and in.
Great swing from Irwin, finding that back corner, just about a foot in bounds. Can't put it in a much better spot than that.
And after that, Abby Leonard will look to give the Indians a bit of a run. Fawcett receives the serve. Mostica near side this time, goes cross court. How about another beautifully placed ball, this time from Addison, who's used to swinging away from us. Now she was right by us and got that one through.
Yeah, Mostica one-upped my comment there about not being able to put it in a better spot. That was a great swing, too.
However, next one goes in the nets. Substitution for Mount Gilead. Cameron Harris back to the game. Katie Oliver to the bench. 17-12 East Knox. Here as we sit in another volley. Winkler high set, and that is out of bounds. Pretty much everybody in Mount Gilead's bench called that one out, even some of the crowd in front of us.
Yeah, that one's going to be out, kind of cutting the lead down. We're seeing Mount Gilead chip away. We'll see how much they can chip away as East Knox, getting deep into this game, still has a 4-point lead.
Winkler with the set to Fawcett. Too high. Plenty of time for Whipple to get underneath. Irwin has her shot dug up. Schrader, yet another set to Ayers off the net. She was looking to get it off the block again, but that one too low.
Yeah, not something that we have seen from Ayers an awful lot. She's been swinging real high off the hands. That time she swings down and just a little bit too far down into the net.
Up the middle. Ayers out of bounds. No touch. 19-13. Imogen Winkler. Right to the platform of Whipple. Into the campfire, nicely placed. Mount Gilead scores the point with Cameron Harris. So we've got Cassidy Irwin back to serve for Mount Gilead. Both teams still with a couple timeouts. Moore goes off the block. They're the first to 20, just like they were the first to 10 in this set. Mount Gilead already called a timeout in this one. I believe East Knox still has both of theirs.
Got a good game here, but East Knox really has the upper hand. Done a good job of not giving up that lead.
And okay, Whipple, rougher serve reception, but it does bait that front row of East Knox to try and get it over after that.
Kylie Rigdon in the game now for the Indians.
And she just sneaks one over and down. Ayers with the ace. She'll try it again. That stays in. Mosteka with the reception. They'll go back to her in the back row. Going. And a nice spot location from East Knox. Serenity Lemley.
It's a good spot there from Lemley.
She does her job. She'll go right back to the bench, and in comes Savannah Crawford to serve. Leonard forces a great dig out of Williams, but Mosteka can't keep it inbounds on the second contact.
Yeah, great up from Evie Williams there in the back row, but tried to go on two there, get a little tricky. Not going to happen. I believe this is the score that we've seen in almost every single set, and we've seen it come down to 2 points each time, so we'll see if Mount Gilead can follow suit as them and the Bulldogs both have this game and come back here late in the fourth.
Back in is Katie Oliver. Side spin on that serve. Mosteka over the block. Oliver digs it up. Leonard will swing. And Mosteka tried a standing sort of roll shot. And that'll give Mount Gilead another point. It's 21-18. Oliver back to serve again.
Yeah, Rigdon taking a seat again in for McKinley Bump, who looked like had maybe some cramp issues.
Some tape work here in this volley early as Leonard scores.
And we're getting tight here, headed in to the end as we see East Knox take a timeout. I mean, this is what we've seen literally all four sets. We've seen about a 4 or 5 point lead once it hits 20, And then the other team ends up letting the other team come back. And we've seen 3 sets decided by 2 points. So we're going to see in this set if right there you see it on your screen, 25-23, 29-27, 25-23. Now 2 points to divide them at the moment. So we're going to see what happens as we come down to the end.
Again, it just feels like these two teams are inseparable for the most part. But they just find a way to make it even more competitive set by set by set. Got to feel like it's going to be the same way here coming out of this timeout called by East Knox, despite them having the 2-point lead.
Yeah, very evenly matched. It'll be interesting to see what happens here as we wind down. Still back to serve is Katie Oliver.
Winkler the set to Mistake. Leonard will try now. Dug up by Crawford. And letting it go out is Oliver. It's a 1-point game. Oliver looking to continue the service run. Back row from Williams. That just gets over the net. Ayers digs it up. And Trainer taps it over. Mistake out of bounds. We're tied.
It's shaping up to be a good one. We're on a 4-point run right now by Katie Oliver and the Indians. It was 17-21 in favor of East Knox. Now it's 21-21.
Off the block and down on East Knox's side. The Indians have the lead. 3 points away from their first KMAC win since 2021.
Could be a big deal here as they have taken the lead late in this game. What a swing it's been.
There's some right to left spin on that serve. Here goes Mount Gilead on the attack. Back row, it is inbounds. Oh, both sides, both officials, the top and the bottom official, disagreed with each other. They ultimately went with the top official who gave it to East Knox.
Wow, that was a close one.
Yeah, very end.
Ooh, wow. We got a tie game again, 22s.
Every single set today has been tied 22-22. They'll go far side with the set, and that's out of bounds. Good eye by the Lady Bulldogs, as Ava Fawcett will go back to serve. And we'll see a timeout. This one taken by Mount Gilead. They're going to call it a little early to try to regroup.
Yeah, going to try to get in the head of Ava Fawcett. And we got a fantastic game here down towards the end. Wow, what a swing for the Indians of Mount Gilead, trying to take this one in 4. They don't want to have to play 5. We're going to see, though, as East Knox with the 1-point lead. East Knox already back out on the floor, ready to go, as we saw them do often against Centerburg. It's going to be interesting here. Fawcett back to serve.
Got an influx of audience joining us here for the tail end of this one. Thanks for joining. If you watched Monroeville sweep Crestview and also Western Reserve sweep South Central, we've got a good contest here as the Bulldogs are trying to send it to 5 with a 1-point lead coming out of this timeout by Mount Gilead. 22-23, Bulldogs in front, but it's tied after that swing from Abby Leonard.
That's their big hitter, Abby Leonard outside. They're going to go to her every time they can. That time the pass was good enough. And she shows you exactly why she's the leader on kills in this team. We're tied at 23.
The freshman will serve. McKinley bump, does her job, gets it over. Mosteka towards the middle, easily fielded by Mount Gilead. Send over on the second contact, and Mosteka finds a spot. It's a little ping pong right there between two sides, and the Bulldogs get the advantage. They have set point.
Yeah, I mean, they had a good pass. I don't see why, they didn't go back to Leonard. She's been so good for them here down the stretch.
Set point, bullet of a serve kept up by the palm of Cassidy Irwin, and she also gets the kill. How about that, Xander?
24. Man, I mean, this is such an evenly matched game. It's crazy.
Extra points we go again. Far side Moore, out of bounds.
That's big. Kinley Moore back in the game at a perfect time for East Knox, but they give it to her, and unfortunately hits it out of bounds.
And that means match point for Mount Gilead. If you're just joining and you don't know the implications, Mount Gilead, the last couple of years, they've been rebuilding this volleyball program. They have not won in the KMAC since 2021, in fact, against East Knox. So it could be a full circle moment here tonight. Lady Bulldogs already out of their huddle. Mount Gilead quickly out after. Lady Indians lead 25-24. They lead 2-1. This is for history here tonight. The senior Abby Leonard will serve. Gets it over into the campfire, and it's an ace to end proceedings tonight. Wow, 3-1. The Lady Indians get their first KMAC win in nearly 4 years, Xander.
Wow, incredible game. Great game by the Lady Indians. Really, I mean, it was all but to a fifth set there mid-fourth. Able to come all the way back and finish it in 4. Great game from Mount Gilead. Such an evenly matched squad with this East Knox team. And, yeah, able to get their first win in the KMAC since 2021. An incredible feat and a great victory for the Indians here in the reservation.
We'll play that final serve one more time. This is where you saw it live and free on the OH Report. Mount Gilead gets their second win of the year. East Knox loses their second KMAC game of the season. 3-1 the final, Mount Gilead victorious here from the reservation. Coming back live and free, we will have our MVP tonight, which will be Cassidy Irwin after that ace to end things off here tonight. We'll be back on the OH Report.
At the Killbuck Savings Bank.
Looking for the best high school sports coverage in Ohio? You found it right here on the OH Report. From the field to the court, we've got it all. OH Report brings you local coverage like nobody else in the area, live and free. Follow OH Report now and never miss a moment of the action. Don't just watch, be a part of the game with OH Report, the future of local sports.
At the Killbuck Savings Bank, you can expect great products and service from a fellow Knox County Chamber member. Now offering premier card processing solutions and services, ensuring the business owners understand their credit card processing fees. We have a wide selection of card processing solutions that provide lower fees, faster payment, additional security, exceptional marketing features, and help to improve your business operations and customer experience.
At Knox Community Hospital, your primary care physician is more than someone who delivers your test results, more than someone who writes prescriptions, more than someone who listens to your heart. We are your healthcare partner who takes the time to know you, listen to your concerns, and provide you with expert personalized care to make and keep you well. Because to us, you're more than just numbers on a chart. You're a neighbor and a friend. Knox Community Hospital, in the community, for the community.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Time now for your Scout Construction LLC MVP, and in this case today, we brought all 4 seniors up as the MVPs today because it's a big moment for this Mount Gilead volleyball program. The seniors help lead this tribe to their first KMAC win of the season. Not just that, but the first KMAC win, I believe, for any of you. Here today.
For the past couple years, we haven't had, at least when I've been in high school, we haven't had a KMAC win. So.
Yeah, but congratulations on this, taking down
Thank
East
you.
Knox tonight. Just kind of, Cassidy, starting with you, wearing the headset. Just take me through the emotions of a day like this, where you're able to come out on top.
I think we wanted to first just come in cool and collected. We knew we were gonna make mistakes, but we just made sure that we were calm and focused. I know it was it was very exciting for all of us to win, just because we haven't had that in so long, and so to have that win with this team is just an amazing thing, definitely.
And then for you in the middle, especially towards the beginning of this game, you took over. You really helped out, just kind of getting that momentum going, even though East Knox did take that first set. How did it feel seeing that kind of run through you, and how your seniors were able to feed off of that, heading towards pretty much the reverse sweep? Sorry. It's really exciting because I try my best to be a really loud and positive person on the court. So just being able to also perform on the court, but also being a leader is really exciting to me, and I'm very proud of our team and myself today. And you'll get to keep that moving forward through the rest of the season here. Of course, it's still early in the year. Finally, for you, of course, we got 4 seniors to talk to. Go ahead and give your shout-outs.
First, I want to give all glory to God. Without him, I wouldn't be able to do anything that I do today. And our team really prioritizes praying and just spending time with God, so definitely him. I want to give thanks to my parents and my coaches for believing in me and just being able to be here for me and all my friends. And I want to give a shout-out to our underclassmen out there. They had a really good game tonight.
All right, you can pass on that headset to Abby Leonard. Abby, she kind of segued me into my next question. Just talk about the underclassmen that you guys have kind of embraced coming into this year, and how they've been able to help you not only get this win tonight, but just kind of keep building this program up.
Yeah, I would say the underclassmen are something that's really important to us, especially McKinley and Kylie stepping up. McKinley's a freshman on varsity. Kylie played her freshman year last year, so just them being able to step up and help us in that back row and in that front row is extremely important.
All right, and then for you, just take me through that final play. Coming out of the timeout, able to have the ball in your hands, deliver the ace to end it. What was going through your mind?
So my serving's kind of more my thing. I like having aces, and I didn't have one all night. And I was like, oh my gosh, their defense is getting me hardcore. So I was like, I'll just serve it, and then it ended up being an ace, and got the point.
Yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and give your shout-outs, Abby.
I just wanted to shout out Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Like Cassidy said, we prioritize praying all the time. Before every game, we run out to Brandon Lake, making sure that he gets all the glory for everything. And I'd also like to shout out my teammates. Like I said, the underclassmen, these guys right here, Kylie Rigdon, Cameron Harris, they all work so incredibly hard for this. Oh, and Kenley, can't forget my favorite setter. And on top of it, I just want to give a shout out for all my supporters and everyone who comes out and watches us.
All right, passing it on now to Lindsay Ayers. Lindsay, I think it was a good progression for you from set 1 to set 4. Just swinging, feeling confident, getting some touches off of the block. Just take me through your thought process throughout this game, and how much did it start to feel more real as the game went on that you could come out with a win?
Well, before the game, I was watching volleyball TikToks so I could get in the mindset. And I was watching tips and tricks, and it was don't get down on yourself, because usually I'm just yeah, one bad play and I'm yeah, you're cooked. So I try to stay more positive. And then Cassidy always hypes me up, and they always shove me after I do something good, and I'm oh gosh, I'm gonna fall. But it's exciting because it's adrenaline rush, I don't know. I don't really have many thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm just all right, don't mess up. And that's what I do. That's it.
Keep that up going and moving forward here in the season. So
yeah.
First win, of course, it's got to feel good, especially in the KMAC. And now you guys go up to an even 500. What does this do for you guys moving into the rest of the year?
Probably gives us a lot of confidence that we can beat teams even though we're not looked good upon.
Yeah, awesome to hear. And then go ahead and give your shout-outs as well.
My mom and Jesus and my dad, I guess. That's it.
All right, Lindsay, congratulations. Go ahead and pass that off. Katie Oliver.
Yep.
Had another couple of nice plays, couple of runs at the service line. just brag on this senior group that we got to hear from, and now we're hearing from you, and just what they've meant to you here in these 4 years.
Well, all these girls, we all know how to play as a team, and when we pray and when we really work together and bring up the energy before the game, we really know how to work together and talk and just communicate on the court.
And then, Katie, kind of just talk for the group. When do you think it started to get real to where you went up 2-1? When did it start to get real that you guys could get out of here with a win?
Kind of in the middle of the game. I knew that if we kept the energy up and we kept talking, then we could possibly get a win, and that's what we exactly did.
All right, and coming out with a win, good chance for Propel moving forward in the season. Final question for you to kind of put a bow on all of the seniors here for Mount Gilead. Looking at that camera, give some overarching shout-outs.
I shout out the team and all the girls that we have on varsity. I shout out McKinley Bump. She is our freshie, and she's doing really good this season. I'm so proud of her. I shout out Jesus. I have him written. I have a Bible verse on my shoes, so I know that he's always with me. And I shout out my grandparents for coming out tonight, and this is the first game they came out to, so I'm really proud of them for making it out here. And I shout out my parents.
All right, and all 4 of you, you've got a great crowd behind you waiting for this interview to wrap up. Give them a little wave.
No one's waiting.
And congratulations to you guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
At Knox Community Hospital, your primary care physician is more than someone who delivers your test results, more than someone who writes prescriptions, more than someone who listens to your heart. We are your healthcare partner who takes the time to know you, listen to your concerns, and provide you with expert personalized care to make and keep you well. Because to us, you're more than just numbers on a chart. You're a neighbor and a friend. Knox Community Hospital, in the community, for the community.
Time now for your post-game show, brought to you by Avita Home Health and Hospice. Winners today, the Mount Gilead Lady Indians, for the first time since 2021 in the KMAC. They beat East Knox 3-1. They propel themselves to an even 500, 2-2 on the year, 1-1 in the KMAC. East Knox falls to 0-3, 0-2 in the KMAC. But honestly, it felt like both of these teams played pretty much dead on the entire way.
Oh, I mean, they were so evenly matched. I mean, you literally cannot get two teams more evenly matched. All 4 sets, like you see right there on your screen, decided by 2 points. That is the telltale sign of a fantastic game between two teams that are really, right up there with each other in skill level. So they're both able to come out. Obviously, Mount Gilead ended up getting the win in the end, which is huge for them and their program. You just talked to some of the seniors. It's big for the players. But, I mean, the scores tell the story. All games decided by 2 points. 2 evenly matched teams. It'll be interesting to see them match up again.
Take it back out to the court as everyone starts to hang around, still have some conversations, and look to just continue to celebrate this one. Of course, not too late into the night. It's a school night. Got to get back to school tomorrow, but Lady Indians today are going to be riding high for the rest of the week. And this will kind of propel them into a really big game next week against Centerburg. They're going to be going to Centerburg on Thursday. Yeah,
it's going to be a tough one. We saw Centerburg play East Knox in Howard last week, and they're a good squad. So we'll see how high this puts their morale heading into that game, and it'll be fun. It's going to be fun to follow this Mount Gilead team through the season.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. That will do it for our coverage live and free on the OH Report, but you can watch us back anytime you want for Mount Gilead's first win in the KMAC in 4 seasons. Thanks to our sponsors rolling through the screen one final time. I'll give a final shout out to them as well. Avita Home Health and Hospice, the Endzone Bar and Grill, Carothers Pest Control, Scout Construction LLC, the Killbuck Savings Bank, and Knox Community Hospital. And just a reminder, we are looking for more Mount Gilead sponsors. And it's a good time to join in right now as this Mount Gilead volleyball program soars higher than it has been in quite some time. So congratulations to them on getting the win, evening themselves up at 500 at 2-2. And for Xander DeVault and Brandon Powell, I'm Jonathan Langdon signing off from the reservation on the OH Report.
Sweet.